Greetings, students. My name is John Burrs, and I'm going to be your professor for Advanced U.S. History. And today I wanted to talk about effective communication in higher education. So, I've taught U.S. history at the high school level for 7 years, and I've always found it to be very rewarding and enjoyable to share the rich tapestry of U.S. history, both the well known and not well known, and the less covered, but very important as well, as vital to the development of the United States. I've traveled extensively throughout the United States and look forward to sharing my experience and how they apply to our studies. All right, so the purpose of this presentation is to outline for you how I plan to effectively communicate with you. The content of the presentation will make it clear of the high degree of respect and value I have for you as my students. The content will also include 3 strategies that I will implement to encourage you as adult learners to communicate effectively. I will also address in this presentation communication barriers in higher education and strategies for overcoming them. When you have a disagreement with me as your professor, or any other professor for that matter, or even between students in the classroom, I will share with you a couple of methods for de-escalating that is interpersonal conflict. Finally, I will talk about how good communication facilitates student achievement and fosters a healthy learning atmosphere in the classroom. All right. Now, looking at some strategies that I will implement to foster effective communication with you. Number one, it's the act of paying attention as someone else talks, paraphrasing and reflecting what they've said, and refraining from giving judgment or advice. And the quote I have along those lines by a professor from Ohio State says, when you practice active listening, you make the other person feel heard and valued. In this way, active listening is the foundation for any successful conversation. Strategy number 2, empathize rather than remain detached. It is critical to show sensitivity and genuine concern for those with whom you work. When it comes to working together as a student to teacher or student to student, if you don't care for them, they would find it difficult to care for you. And strategy number 3, be flexible towards others. Allow for various points of view and be willing to try new concepts. Imagination and creativity are nurtured by diversity. All right, next, communication barriers in higher education and strategies for overcoming them. So, number 1, maintain a constructive outlook on communication. Communication is impaired by defensiveness. And number 2, and here's a quote by Professor Irvin, and he says, approach communications as a creative process rather than simply part of the chore of working with people. That one to me is, very fascinating, very interesting for us to be able to do in our classroom. All right, de-escalating interpersonal conflict. So keep your tone and body language in mind. Maintain a grounded and peaceful demeanor when speaking in a relaxed tone, and refrain from raising your voice. I I will validate the feelings of you just as you should of your fellow students, but not your actions. For example, I understand that this isn't the answer you were hoping to hear today, and it appears to be frustrating. Definitely empathizing with you once again, and you should do the same with your fellow students. And then finally, good communication in the classroom, just in general, teaching you as students to think critically, collaborate effectively, and communicate clearly are admirable and attainable goals. Consistent communication in the classroom actually increases the effectiveness and overall quality of discourse, which has a direct effect on student learning. So, in other words, your learning is enhanced and how you are in the classroom in terms of it being better for all of us. So, I want to thank all of you for being a part of my class, and I look forward to having a great U.S. history class with you. Thank you very much.